New York City doesn't have that many renewables within the city, obviously. But where are you going to get it from? So within the city, who knows what the number is? Is it going to get in the tens or hundreds of megawatts? That we're talking that scale, right? Otherwise, you probably have to import it. So you can either, what are your choices? You can either reinforce the transmission lines from upstate to import, 'cause there's a tremendous amount of upstate wind. But of course, it's a 30% capacity factor. It's mostly off-peak, so there's disadvantages. But you could tap into that huge resource base up there. I guess you could bring in Canadian hydro. You could argue whether it's actually renewable or not. That would involve long-distance transmission lines. Or you could tap into offshore wind, which there's obviously a lot of development risk, but you have an industry in Europe, so there's a paradigm there, and it's also higher capacity factor, around 40%, mostly on peak, but it's more expensive. Those are your resources that are out there. So the ones that are in city, I don't know, might be on the hundreds of megawatts. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe potential, but if you really want to expand it, you have to import it, and then it's very expensive. I hate to say it, and just society has to make a decision. Policymakers, the city developers have to make a decision what our appetite is. We still, although prices have softened in New York City for both power and gas, I think we're still the highest in the continental U.S. As far as retail prices we pay. So we have to make trade-offs. So are you better importing vast tracts of renewables, which is very transformative? It can build industries, or do you focus on energy efficiency? And repowering projects in the city. I mean, these are the real questions that I think policymakers are facing, and this is one really important piece of it. But you got to look at it as a whole, I think.